Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today we're looking at a very old stamp set from Stampin' Up, which has the lovely deer, the little bunny and the fox, and some lovely tree images, snow. It's just a lovely stamp set. It was around a few years ago and was around for a little while, but it's lovely. So I've used the fox, and we'll come to that later on. So I have got, this is just a piece of oven thing, which is quite good if you're doing painty backgrounds and things like that. And I have taken, because we're going to do a couple of things. So I've got a piece of cardstock base, and I've got this, which is an old piece of pattern paper. And that's going to go on here because I like that sort of background, but we're going to do something more to it. So that's what we're going to start with to start off with. And I'm using Evening Evergreen. Again, it's a retired one. Most of my inks are retired ones because I like using what I've got, and I am literally just going to go round on the edge of this. So I'm literally using, these are quite good for, if you've got a proper mat, then that's fine. But this was going to be thrown out. So I was gifted it because it was like, well, I don't know, I'm not going to use it, said my friend. So I was like, oh, well, I can use it. And I thought, you know what, I know exactly what I'm going to use it for, because I want that little bit that can literally, like this, can go all the way around the edge, and you get a nice smooth piece that comes in, because you're taking it from the outside into the inside bit. So you have that comes through quite nicely. Okay, now I want to do a little bit of extra stamping on there as well, because it's all about, for me, building up layers. So I have got these wonderful textures. So I'm doing old and new. These textures are from the, they've only just been released, from the Mike Deakin. Let's take that out, otherwise you get too much shine on there. So these are from the Mike Deakin Art, My Creative Journey, Indigo Blue, Journaling Textures #2. So they're great for journaling, but I just love them. This is one of my favourites, the bubbles. So I'm going to have bubbles on this. Although it could be like a little pebbled path or something like that. So I'm just going to put it on the centre like that. And I'm going to do it with this green, because I want to keep the same sort of colour tone going through. Whoops. And I'm literally just going to take it down like that. I mean, look at that. It looks like a little pebbled path, doesn't it? Which I think is just absolutely delightful. So we're just going to take it down. Oh, I think I've got a bit of sticky on the back of there. So I'm going to take it down from there, like that. And you can see you can sort of link them up quite nicely. Now, there's all sorts of ones that you could use, so you don't have to necessarily use this particular one, but you can buy it in whatever country you want. And as you know, I'm part of their design team now, so they are products that I wouldn't be part of a design team unless I really wanted to recommend them and say that they were brilliant. And in my opinion, they are fantastic products. They're Red Rubber. It's a family-owned UK company. So again, because I'm UK, you know, it makes sense for me. But they do ship round the world. I've got one of the subscribers actually won one of their prizes. They had a prize, and one of their prizes, because she had entered it from seeing it. So that's going to give us that piece. I'm going to put this back again, actually, because I'm going to need this for other bits. And that's then going to go onto the base that we've got, which we've just put to one side. So that's the stamping bit done, which given us a bit of texture. Now, I have got an old bit of tag that I've had for a while, and I thought that would go in on the center. This one I think I'm going to sponge in, excusing my fingers on here, I'm going to sponge around that one in Crumb Cake, because that's the colour of the actual tag. So just put that on there. I need to get another sponge dauber out, so let's see if I can get my packet out without knocking the light maybe, but not locking the camera. So let me have a look at that. That'll do with that one. Put that in on there for now. And I'm just literally going to... Now I could have done it down on there, which would have given me more of a... So if I do it down on here, it just gives me a little bit more to work with. Be careful I don't get it on the green that I've already got on here, so I'm going to give it a white before we go on to the next bit. But I just want to just go around the outside of it, because then it just gives it a little bit more of a distressed look, which is what I want. Okay, so that's that bit done. Now I do need to, as I said, I need to just clean this mat a little bit, otherwise it's going to have, let's do this with my kitchen paper. Now I tend to, as you know, buy plain kitchen roll, because it means that I can then use it for other things. So that's just got a little bit of colour on there like that. Okay, I'm using that because the next bit I want to do is, this is why I've got the green, because the green's going to go in on the centre, but this is a little piece of watercolour that I've used the, what were they? They were the Stitched, again, long time ago, but I love these stitched shaped framelits. And you have circles and squares and ovals, and I love the ovals, absolutely love them. So I have stamped the image of the fox and I've clear embossed it. So I stamped it in VersaFine ink, and then I've clear embossed it so that it's going to be easier to be able to paint over it. Okay, and now I'm going to use, I could use re-inkers. I'm not going to use re-inkers. I'm going to use the indigo blue acrylic paints, because I find that they work so well. I've got them in a little tub, so I can choose the colours I want. So the fox is going to be March hare and a little bit of clotted cream. So that's going to be the hare. I might even take a little bit of yellow in on there. Let's get a metallic on the yellow, so a bit of Duchess. And the background is going to be red and yellow, so I could do that. It's all going to be metallic-y, isn't it? That's fine. We'll have it nice and shiny and looking beautiful, I think. So I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to move those out of the way. If I need to get some more, I can always get them out. Now, what I'm going to do on this is I want to wet this first. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of water on there. Because it's watercolour card, we should be all right with this. Now, I need to take a little brush, and I've got lots of little brushes, but I want one with about a point that size. And we're going to do the fox first of all. So let's take the March hare. Now, this is why I wanted, and what I'm going to do is, this is going to be an old piece. Let me just put, I'm going to put this on here so you can see it better. And I've got this to come at the side, so I can just add a little bit of this paint down onto here. Now you can see it's got lots of mica in it. I should have really shaken it first, but it should be all right. You only need a tiny, tiny little bit. So you can see that amount. That's more than enough. So literally they say the size of a grain of rice. And that's normally enough, if not more. And you can see the pots are always absolutely filled to the brim. So I'm going to take this out first. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water on here, just on my brush. I don't even think I need to do any more. And then we're going to grab my glasses, because I won't be able to see to do this without my glasses on. So let me just put my glasses on. Then I can come up quite close. Whoops. And then we're going to just take, can you see how the colour just comes around nicely? Now it's going to come off the side a bit, but I don't really mind that too much, because what I'm going to do is, once I've coloured him in, see how he's running across, which is nice. That's why I've got the what do you call it, that's why I embossed it first. I'm just going to take some of that off, because I think I've got a little bit too much water on here. Right, so let's start again, but with not quite so much water. So I'm going to start this up on here. Take my brush and then very carefully. That's better. I think I just overdid the water to start off with. So this will give me a lovely ready fox. Take this in like that. Which is lovely. It's rather beautiful, isn't he? Okay, so that's my fox. And again, I can just clean my brush up. And I want to do a little bit of the pale on there, because he needs just a little bit of pale. But I might do my other colours first, because I want to do that background, don't I? And I want it to be really nice and vibrant. So let's take that out. Not very good at opening these pots. I keep getting more paint on me than on anything else. So I'm going to put this on here again, just a tiny little bit. Put that in on there like that. And then I can add just a little bit of water to it. And then mix it up like this. Because that's what I want. I want the I want sort of like a sky on here. That's nice. So I'm just going to take this over here, and you can see, because we've got the water on it, it's going to move around nicely. So I'm literally just starting with the red. And we'll take it round on this side. So he's going to be on a sunset. I'm not going to do it right to the edge though. I just want to, where the little stitched bit is, I'm just going to keep it like that. But you can see it will work quite nicely, because we've just wetted that card first. So then I can take that down to there. So that's given us the red. In on there, and then I want to add a little bit of the yellow, so I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of the yellow out, just put a little bit in on there, and again just a little spray. And then what I want to try and do is to mix some of this in on here, so you can have this sort of sunsetty bit on here. just up in on the top. I'm talking quietly because I'm concentrating. It's funny, isn't it, where you just start to sort of concentrate a bit and just bring those sorts of colours in, and then I can take the darker one, just bring that down at the bottom again. And then just blend it all through. So you've got your light and your dark coming through. That looks rather nice like that. Okay, so that's done with that bit. Let me just put this lid back on like that. And I think I want to have it, I need to have a bit of green, don't I, at the bottom. So let me just get, what have I got for green? I think I'm going to have a, this is shepherd green, which is quite a nice bright green, which is fine. So I think I'm going to have some of that one. Let's just take a tiny little bit of that out. Really only need a little bit. I didn't clean my brush, did I? So that's come out a bit brown. Let me just clean my brush to start off with. Oh, need to get that out of there as well, because I just put that in like that, which wasn't very good. Right, put that down on there. A little bit of water. Let's see what that's going to be. I think that should be quite nice down here. Let's have a little look. That's the green. A little bit pale, isn't it? Let's just add a little bit more of it. See if I can get it a little bit darker. I think I might have to do the other one, which is a little bit darker. So that was the shepherd green, shepherd's green, and I think I'm going to have this one, which is the Mad Hatter, which is just a little bit darker. So there we go. I'm always getting bits on there. I'm not very good at opening the pots, that's why. It's got nothing to do with the actual product. Right, now we should be able to get this a little bit darker, shouldn't we? That's better. Let's come down on here where the green is. Just mix that in a bit. It's quite nice working with watercolours because you get some really nice colours. There we go. That's got a couple of colours coming in on there, which is nice. And then I just want to clean that one up again. Get a little bit more of this orange. Oops, sorry, I knocked the camera, I think, with my glasses on the top of my head. And I'm just going to do a little bit of this fox again, just round the top of his tail. And then just a little bit down on inside of here, I think, just on here. Do it that way. There we go. So that's that bit. And then what I could do is, you can actually, when I put it that way, you can see it, because there's so much mica in this, it's shining a bit, so it's difficult to see. I just want a little bit of this clotted cream, which is the, just slightly, can you see it's a paler brown, and I just want a little tiny bit of this, not a lot, just a little bit, to just add a little bit of definition in there. Let's just add a tiny little bit of water in on there, mix it up a bit, and then I just want to do that in, don't want it too wet. Take some of this off on the brush. Just want to do a little bit down on his little nose, just little bits that are a little bit paler, so we get a little bit of definition of colour in on here. There we go. Whoops, that'll do. Nearly throw my paintbrush on me. Okay, so I think that is probably going to be all right. I'm going to hold it up against the light a little bit, because I think if you okay, so if I put it that way, does that take the shine off it? Yes, it does. If I do it that way, can you see all the mica shine on it? If I put it that way, it's quite difficult to actually see the different colour tones in it, but it does look pretty impressive. Okay, so that's going to be that part, and that's literally going to go into the centre. Let's move this out of the way for a minute. Now, I've got all of this on here, and as I said, I don't like wasting anything. So I'm going to take, and I got some little scrappy pieces of white card. I think I probably have. That'll do for one bit. This is why I'm always trying to use up little scrap pieces. And I want to have, let me have a look in here. I did have some smaller pieces on here. I'm just going to grab a little handful of what I've got and see, because I've literally just tidied up some, so I don't want, oops, hold on a minute, my heat gun's just fallen on the floor and turned itself on. That won't do very much, will it? I was using it earlier on, so that's fine, it can stay there for a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little piece. Don't think I want a whole piece, although I could do. I'm dithering, aren't I? That's the sort of size I want. So I'm just going to cover that on there, make that a bit watery as well, and then all I'm going to do is to just move this about on here and see what comes out. It's a bit muddy, isn't it? Those colours are all right, but the rest, I think I put too much water in on here. Let's dab it up with this a bit and just see if there's any on this last bit on here. So there might be. And sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes I just leave it just like that, and then once it's dried, you just see what turns out. It might just be a bit muddy on that one, but this will be quite nice. So it doesn't really matter how you do it. I'm just going to mop all of this up once each bit's dried. So this, you can see on there, once that's dried, you'll have all sorts of different colours coming in. And I keep using my cloths again and again and again until I've got some really nice colours on there. So let me move that just out of the way for now, because we don't need it. And let's come back to our card. I'm going to put that down there so you can see it a bit better. So we have, let's just get the base out again. We've got a quite nice creamy base on this one. And then we've got this, which is the paper, which is going to go up on here. We've got this, which is the tag, which I'm just going to put down like that. And then we've got the fox on here with this like that, which just gives that little pop of colour. Now, you could, and I could actually have it completely centered. I quite like to have things just not quite centered. This isn't dry, so I'm not going to stick it on yet, but I'm going to put maybe that way, that way. Put some nice sort of ribbon. I've got this, which is rather nice, and I think that up on the top would look beautiful, but whatever you've got. So this is just a little bit of ribbon that I've had. Well, it's more sort of embroidery type thread, but I'm using it for ribbon. Again, it was something that I bought at a charity event. There was a craft charity event which I went to, and I bought whole pile of tapestry things because I do tapestry, and in amongst it was this, and I thought, oh, that will work beautifully for ribbons. So, you know, if you put this up like that, take that in the center, put that in sort of that way like that, and as I say, you can have it completely centered if you want to, or you can have it at a slight angle, however you really want it. But that gives you a really lovely card. Once that's dried, it will dry down quite a bit, but it has got a lovely colour, even though it's very difficult to see on the camera. In fact, if I try and bring it, let me try and bring it up closer to here. You can see on that part, you've got all the different colours coming through. It's still very damp, so it will take a while to dry, but hopefully that gives you at least some ideas of what you can do. And as always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.